All right. 1, 2, 3. Is that the old-fashioned way today, Dan?
Oh, I know. We don't have any live titles today. My computer's crapped itself.
It's cacked it, Dan.
And
it's had enough.
Yeah, unfortunately. So I don't know what it is. It's just...
It's Premiere. It's fucking up.
That's right. It is Premiere. I need to try Final Cut because I guess I'm a simp. You know, I have an Apple laptop.
Yeah, no, I think Final Cut's like really good.
It's built for Apple. It's built for Apple.
I mean, your laptop's bloody... It's like you've had yours less than mine, and mine's still going okay.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I think it's just I think it's the fact that I don't just use Premiere, but I use all the other Adobe proper apps.
Do you close your tabs enough?
Yeah, but it's really weird. I think they I don't know if Final Cut does this, but Adobe apps, they like fill up a bunch of fucking files in the computer.
Yeah,
and
mine does it all the time.
It fills
like
up
whenever I go
so
like
much
my
space.
storage, it's like 60 gigs in like Final Cut, and I'm like, hang on a minute, what's this?
Yeah.
And it's all just like files that they've saved randomly, which I can't even access.
It does the same shit with Adobe.
app.
I've heard that it does it slightly in a different way, but it's the same idea. It just fucking fills up your storage.
Every like month or so, you just got to go through and delete it.
I know, and then it fucking slows down the machine,
it doesn't even delete anything on the app. Like nothing changes. Like there's no.
It's very weird. It's because it's all for old projects.
Yeah.
So if you delete it, it doesn't matter if you're done with the project.
Legit. Did you see the beef this week between the two YouTubers?
I have heard about the beef.
Yes.
But I didn't see it. But you'll have to give...
see it? Do you follow Frame?
So this beef that we're referring to, or that Connor's referring to, that I've heard of, is between a friend of ours, Superframe, fellow YouTuber that we know. Actually, he has, like you said, 20,000 subscribers.
We went to school with him. Yeah, he has 20K. He's you know what? He's really good at what he does. And I'm certainly more close to him personally than you've been.
Yeah, I'm friendly with him though. But you're certainly more close.
He's coming to my party in like 2 weeks.
I know, an influencer at the party.
Well, I have to say to them, I said to them both, I was like, because Aiden got on a bit of beef because I won't say his name because I think he likes to be a bit private about it. But we'll call him Superframe because that's what he calls himself on YouTube. He, by the way, if he ever sees it, I'm not shitting on him. I love him. I think they're both.
If he wants his privacy, he wants his privacy.
I think, no, I just mean telling this story. I literally said to both of them, I'm staying out of it. I had no comments for either of them.
Wow, so what happened?
Because I love them both. He posted a screenshot of him working on Final Cut and said, like, new video coming out soon.
Superframe did,
yeah. And then Aiden commented Final Cut Pro on Twitter and put the vomiting emoji.
Right.
And
which, I mean, why does he shit on Final Cut Pro, Aiden?
It's just Aiden, isn't it?
All right, fair enough.
If it's not Ryan Johnson, it's not fucking good.
Ryan Johnson uses Premiere.
Yeah, probably.
He probably uses Sony Vegas, actually. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's crazy because he did that and then Mitch came back. Oh, I just said his name. Fuck's sake. All right.
That's okay. Whatever. You can say his first name.
I'm pretty sure on Superframe he says his name is that. But either way, he came out with a huge like paragraph. And it's so weird because Aiden doesn't really mess me out the blue about anything else other than the show. Because I guess he just doesn't. And then he hit me up saying, I can't believe it. Look at this. And then at the same time, I got a message from Superframe at the same time.
No.
Before I'd even seen the tweet. So I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? And I went on Twitter and I saw it and I messaged them both and I was like, just chill out, guys. You know, you're both meeting in a few days after a... Well, these guys know each other. We all went to school together. All four of us went to school together. So...
Is it still online?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
I won't... Well, I don't know. Maybe
look, I think Aiden was joking, but... You know what? Maybe he was just having a bad day because I've been there and, you know, you snap.
Yeah.
But they both messaged me and I literally said to both of them, I'm staying out of it. I do not want to be involved in this.
Yeesh.
And I was like, look, you're both meeting at my party. You're re-meeting after a year or so and be sure to be on your best behavior because, you know, I don't want any bloody...
This is how I went.
You know, I don't want any arguments, you know. It's going to be a clean night. There's already a lot of people coming and I'm a bit worried what my parents are going to think. So I'm like, did you find it?
Yeah, I found it. It doesn't seem like that bad of a message.
You didn't see the DMs.
But that's what I'm saying.
Joking.
It's surprising to me that they both felt like it was a big enough thing to message you.
Yeah, it was weird. They both
because basically, and Mitch. So basically, yeah, like you said, Aiden says Final Cut is shit, and then Superframe, excuse me, responds saying,
"Cat's out of the bag now."
Unless you're making feature films, there's no reason to be using Premiere, which is actually completely fair.
It's a pretty good point. I did say to Aiden, I do get where he's coming from. I think Final Cut is so much easier and simpler.
The thing is,
That's just me personally, though. If people don't agree with that, that's fine.
Honestly, the main reason I use Final Cut is just the main reason I use Premiere is because that's what I learned. I learned on Premiere, and I just haven't been asked to change it. And the other thing as well, to be fair, that I use Premiere, Adobe, is that you get Premiere and you get Photoshop and you get Lightroom and you get Audition and you get After Effects. So you get a lot of different apps that are for multiple different, creative things. So if you're just making videos, Final Cut probably is the best thing to have. But if you're going to be doing client work or other things or photography,
I know Casey uses it.
Then it's kind of I've heard I've heard Final Cut is great, and I've been really wanting to change to it. Casey uses it. Marquez, uses it.
So because I started on
MKBHD,
and it's literally an advanced version of iMovie, but it didn't really change anything that you learn with a free software,
especially with Macs. I've heard that it's faster on Macs. It's better to use.
I just think you're giving yourself a bit of a headache. Every time I look at you using Premiere, it looks like an alien language to me. I don't want to learn it. I won't learn it.
Yeah.
I just think, why make things more complicated for yourself? But they went through a bit of a thing like that, so it's like, fair enough. And I wish they would just speak to each other about it. Why are they going to message me?
That is funny.
I'm stuck in the middle. I literally said, I'm no comment. I'm not talking about
it. Caught between beef.
I'm not. Yeah, that can be the clip.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, look, at least you're caught between beef and not in your own beef.
Yeah. No, I'm glad those guys both like me. Anyway, I will just say this before we move on. I do want to get this guy Super Frame on, but I do have a theory. The reason why he doesn't want to come on is because I think, and look, forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to say anything, and we're good friends. I'm sure if you saw this, you wouldn't take it out of context. I think I'm trying to be a dick. Yeah, but I do think I'm going to say this to him when I see him at my party. I do think that he's a bit self-conscious of, and look, you have to get like this when you get bigger with subs. You do think people leech off you.
Totally, of course.
To be honest, I didn't know he had that many when I asked him to come on the show. I knew he had more than us, but I didn't know he had 20K.
No, I mean, 20K is great though.
I think he's a bit worried that we're only trying to have him on to promote the podcast.
No, I mean, I think
how would you
if we were like obsessed with just trying to get more views, it would show, and we would do a much different
the king
show.
Of 0 views.
Yeah, I mean, we clearly have a show that we want to do, and we want to do it a certain way, and views be damned, which almost is a bad thing.
Well, I'm going to say to him, look, you can come on and not even discuss your channel.
Yeah,
I would like to. But
no, I think he's no, but we should say
he can come on and not.
We should say he doesn't have to give us any shout outs.
No.
Because if he comes on...
when have we had a guest on and asked him to shout us out?
We haven't.
So maybe he will. I don't know. We're seeing him soon.
I really would love to have him on.
I talk to him pretty much every day.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. I love Mitch.
Oh, he's a lovely guy. I actually
he makes some really good content, and I think his hard work and dedication is definitely taken in places.
No, I want to catch up with him more, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll see him. I'm pretty sure he's coming to my thing. He said he is.
Yeah, great. No, I'm keen.
He does like to pop around all the places. So I don't know if he'll Dude, did I tell you? This is the guy. I hope he doesn't mind us talking about him like this, because he called me
I'm not talking about shit. You're bringing it up.
No, Archie, my friend Archie.
Yeah.
He's come to your party a few times.
Yeah,
childhood friend of mine.
Yeah, I love Archie.
I woke up on at that point it was Sunday morning at like 3 a.m. I had a missed call from Archie and Mitch.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's weird. Because they'd met like once or twice, but I didn't think they were friends. And I called up Archie, I'm like, are you okay? Because I got caught at 3 a.m. And Mitch answered Archie's phone and said, Conor, we're heading to Archie's, which is bizarre, by the way. This is like two different worlds that, because of me, exist because they met at my 18th.
Okay, yeah.
Two crazy worlds that just completely exist now.
Yeah.
The most opposite people in my life are hanging out. And he's like, I'm going to Archie's. I
wouldn't say that opposite, though.
There's some complete different parts of my life, though.
Yeah.
I grew up with Archie and I met Mitch at school, and they were completely different schools. They'd never seen each other until my 18th. And then Mitch was like, oh, we're going to Archie's house. Come bring some beers. And I'm like, Mitch, it's fucking 3 a.m. I've been asleep. I think I didn't do anything that night, so I went to bed early. I was like, I'm not coming. I'm not coming. I'm sorry.
Was it a weeknight or was it a weekend?
No, at this point it was. Sorry, my belt's funny. No, at this point it was like I'd gone to bed and it was Friday night and it was Saturday morning at like 3 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I love those guys. It's funny because when I invited Mitch to my party, he said, "Is Archie coming?" I was like, "Yeah, he'll be there."
Well, look, it sounds like he's got a lot of good stories to tell with or without.
Yeah, I'd love to have him on. So. I hope he doesn't think we're just trying to leech off him.
I think I've been really liking the shows that we've been doing with guests. I think we've been doing a great job. We'll talk about it a bit more later in the show. But before we get into that, we have a bit of a throwback almost, don't we? Because we haven't done this in a while. It's a bit of a taste test.
We did the Big Mac like a month ago.
We did do the Big Mac versus Big Jack.
I saw this on Facebook this week, and I was like, "Damn, how can we not?"
Yeah. So there was the ads going out for this. I think this just came out this week, but this is the new KFC promotion. It's a really weird fucking thing.
If Dan's laptop was working, we could show you a picture.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe it'll start working and I can show you something. But we'll have to basically go through the description.
It's a weird box too.
Yeah, I know. And I used to work at KFC. I'm pretty sure this is a newly designed box.
It must be.
Because they don't have this box design.
It's called a slab.
Which is so funny that they call it a slab.
A slab to me is concrete.
A slab to me is beer.
Yeah, they call it, beer slab, a slab of concrete.
Yeah, so a slab is such a funny thing to call food.
Yeah, a slab is like, in Australia, I never call them it, but a slab is something like this, like a 24-pack.
Yeah. That was just what we had before the show.
So. Yeah, true. I don't know why those boxes are still there, but yeah.
But yeah, no, so a slab is... Slab is...
Prince and dead air.
You twat. This is what they've called their new promotional item. What's
the real word?
What is it? It's the popcorn slab, I think is what it's called. And basically...
are you sure it's called that? I think it's something else, but yeah. Damn, without a computer, our lives are fucking useless.
Why are you waiting to open it?
I'm waiting to see if I can open it, Daniel.
Oh, I see. Yeah, of course. Go ahead. Okay, here we go. The official, I've got the word and I've got the description for it as well. So we've got the popcorn chicken slab, which is what it's called. It says
it looks like nothing from this angle, but
it says a new cult product filled with loads of our famous popcorn chicken.
It is.
Held together.
So fucking gross.
Thank you.
I kept doing that on Saturday and I was getting freaked out.
Oh, yeah, you fed me M&Ms. Held together by 6 of our soft dinner rolls, oozing with tasty cheese and barbecue sauce. So I'm very curious about what that's going to be, like the cheese sauce, because I don't think KFC does.
Pass the smell test.
Okay, well, that's good.
Have you had dinner today, Dan?
No, I haven't.
Well, good, because you're about to have 3 dinner rolls.
Hey!
You ready?
Let's do this. Let's taste this bad boy.
I'm going to try and...
It's basically like a mini... It's like, what do they call
So they must come like this.
Would you call it like a slider? Almost? What do they call it when it's like a mini... When it's a mini burger?
It's like a slider burger.
Yeah, they call it like a slider burger. So it's kind of like... But I know sliders can also be like mini wraps as well.
Can you get this in a box or do you have to like...
No, that's the... Oh, yeah, you can get like a meal deal, but that's basically how you get it.
Man, KFC, you think they thought of it all?
Jesus.
I just want to give you one of those, but I'm sorry it's been a bitch.
That's okay. Oh, gosh. I got it.
All right.
Wow, this is such a strange... Oh, God. A little bit fell. This is such a bizarre concoction.
All right, you ready to try this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, I got a bit of taste of the sauce. That doesn't taste bad.
Oh, my God. You know how bad it could be for you? Oh, my God.
Wow, okay. Nice. I like that cheese sauce.
That has got to be horrendously so bad for you. Dude, cheese, barbecue sauce, chicken, popcorn. And bread.
It really is what do they call it? The kids fattening center? KFC?
Yeah, that's what one of my mum's clients calls it.
That's what my sister calls it. And she I don't think she does now, but I remember when she was younger, that was like the funniest shit she'd ever heard in her life. Like, kids fattening center.
I love it. I said, I love it. I'll get us a napkin.
Uh-oh.
That is beautiful.
I think it tastes quite good, actually. I think the barbecue's a nice mix. Where did we rate the KFC barbecue? I think we liked that one.
Yeah. I think all the fucking KFC.
You know, when we did the sauces, we should have done a tier list.
Come on, Dan. We're trying not to copy H3 here. Oh, sorry. Do you want to knack him?
Oh, that's okay. I'll grab one after.
All right.
Oh, everyone does a tier list. Tier list is not just an H3.
You know what? I know it's bad, but I kind of want another one. But
go ahead. You can have another one. You can give me.
Sure? Yeah. Are the audience going to hate
it? He's having too much on the show.
So, I mean, like getting the fucking.
You're getting the munchies on air.
To clarify, we have not done narcotics.
This is just the regular sober munchies that we have right now.
That is beautiful. Do you know what I heard? That's ready for you, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Do you know, apparently, like, one of my dad's family members said they get, like, the alcoholic munchies. Is that a thing? Do you reckon?
Oh, yeah.
Is it still
hungry
called
when I'm
munchies,
drunk sometimes. I don't know if it's munchies in the traditional sense, but I mean, you're hungry, so.
It must be, though, like.
Dropped a sesame seed.
Like, drinking, like, it's bad for you, but, like, also, you eat like shit when you're drinking. You wake up in the morning, you're hungover, which then makes you eat like shit again.
I know.
And you drink
yeah.
stuff like fucking milkshakes and energy drinks.
Drinking is just a bad cycle.
It's like when you drink alcohol, it's not even just the booze that's fattening for you. It's all the shit you're doing with it.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Are you still not eating fast food? Apart from now, obviously.
Clearly, I am. No, I'll have that. Basically, so October was the deadline. October was the deadline for when we were going to stop. For how long we were going to go without eating fast food. We made it to October, which was good. I did have fast food a couple of times in there, but it was actually a really good thing for us. Me and Kath, I'm talking about. And it went very well. The last week obviously has been off that, and I've had it a couple of times, fast food. But I think after today, I'm gonna try and say I want to get to the end of October without having any fast food, and then when I get to November, I'll say the same thing, because I think it's just if I set myself a goal and if I set it like 1 month at a time, I think that's good. You know,
wasn't the show an exception for that role you had?
Yes, the show was an exception. Yeah,
right.
Sorry, but I did have it once or twice outside of the show, so I didn't completely have no fast food. But it was a good. I think when you have a goal like that, it's a good way to just keep yourself accountable and keep reminding yourself to like try and not fucking binge on fast food, and like just, you know, the thing that it was getting bad, and I think I've said this before, what it was getting bad for me was like I was just buying things that were really cheap, like $2, $3. And then I'd end up buying it every like 2 days. And it's like, you're actually spending, it adds up and you end up spending a fair bit of money, and it's just not good for you, even if it is a small menu item. So it's like, you fucking lose, you know?
Do you want me to leave us on the show?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like, don't get me wrong, I want to have the last one, but.
We got a show to run here.
Well, the ones are going to be like sick of me eating the fucking. I was Jared from Subway.
It's like a mini burger, just
not Jared from Subway in the
pedophile
awful sense today, but I got a Subway.
Ah, I see.
Which, by the way, Subway's fucking cheap, man. You can get.
I've seen they have their $5 things at the moment as well. Those
you can get a foot long, which, by the way, that shit fills you up. It's tasty as hell, probably because it's not good.
Foot long is like a lot as well.
It's like $8.50.
Jesus, wow.
If you try and get like a medium meal, not even a large meal, like a medium meal like McDonald's, it's like $13. You want to go large, it's like 15, 16.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And I know Subway isn't good for you, despite what Jared says. But
we can't listen to you, Jared. We just can't trust you.
Is Jared dead or in jail?
I think he's in jail.
Fucking good.
Hey,
no, Jared from Subway he was like this huge, he was massive, wasn't he? He was like, they put him on a.
Well, he was physically massive, and then he lost a shit ton of weight.
That can't be right. Eating only Subway, that can't be right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was it. Yeah, that's right. They put him on a diet plan just eating Subway, and he lost a massive amount of weight.
Chinos that he used to wear. Anyway, he was a pedophile.
So he's famous.
And he was massive.
Well, before he was outed as a pedophile, he was famous for posing in photos and ads with like his massive pants that he used to own when he was fat as fuck.
Yeah.
and he would like be standing in his pants. His pants would be like double the size of him.
Massive. Again, we could show you at the computer's fun.
Big enough to fit. I won't say that.
Nah, that's fine. I was about to say.
Yeah, you could tell where I was going with that joke.
But he got done, but he was huge.
Yeah, so he got done. I don't know if he actually, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I don't know if he ever got done for actual child, like predation and molestation. But he certainly got.
Didn't he have child pornography on his computer?
Yes, he got done for child pornography. Was the main charge.
All these people, buddy, Bryan Singer. Jared.
Bryan Singer basically was famous for having these parties with like young pool boys and young men who wanted to get into the industry, young
like
gay
a casting
men.
Party.
Yeah, kind of, but they would be like
young.
So they would be
boys. How old were they?
Well, they'd be like 16,
and they identified as
underage.
Being gay.
Well, yes. I guess they felt comfortable in the gay community, and
I see.
And he would take advantage of them and like have them over his house and just obviously do stuff.
Was Bryan Singer like
very creepy? I'm not sure actually. I don't know about that. Oh wow! But to get back to Jared, so we were able to plug the computer in. There were a few technical difficulties, so see if you can notice that, folks. Then you get a bit of a star. If you can see where we cut out the technical difficulties.
There's no way.
But this is how fat Jared was. Jared was massive.
Maybe if he ordered those bloody.
And this is how he looked.
Is that Avengers?
Where?
Is that the Avengers logo in the background?
What? Yeah, Jared went to the Avengers premiere. It seems.
Oh, Sharknado.
Jared from Subway pants. Because basically his pants were like, here you go. Here are his massive ass pants.
That can't be right. I'm sorry.
So these are the pants he used to wear apparently, because he used to be such a massive fat guy.
No, that can't be right.
What? That he lost all that weight just from Subway?
Maybe if he ate, those those bread rolls. By the way, apparently they got sued that they can't call it bread anymore because apparently it's so bad for you. That's what I mean. It's not even bread. Anyway, do you know those like bread rolls that you see there that are like black and they're like full of wheat and like shit that tastes horrible, probably gluten free. Maybe if he had that with nothing but. I reckon even all those
like wholemeal and shit like that. Like
I reckon even those vegetables are full of like salt, sodium. And
just to contextualize the bread thing. So that was in Ireland specifically where that happened. Basically, someone sued Subway or something about their bread not being bread, and the Irish Supreme Court ruled that. And this is based on Irish law, so I think in America it probably would still come under bread, although maybe not. But basically, the way that Ireland rules is like if it has a certain amount of sugar above a percentage or whatever, it's counted as like a dessert product.
That's the thing.
Do you know what I mean? Like a cinnamon roll or like something like that.
Like those.
So basically, the Supreme Court in Ireland said that because the Subway bread has so much fucking sugar, you can't legally call it bread because it's like it's basically like a cinnamon roll. Like it's like fucking it's like Cinnabon, you know.
With that.
What, this man, Jared?
Yeah, Jared.
It's ridiculous. It makes no sense to me, frankly.
Didn't you you showed me a tweet once, it was like some guy was like, I was on the set once with Jared from Subway and he was a massive twat. He was like a horrible person.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. He is a pedophile, so.
I know that South Park totally fucking ripped into him. I think.
Being a pedo.
I think it was even before that, before anyone even knew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a huge campaign. Jared
was massive.
Away from Subway.
Well,
I don't get how that. I just don't see how that actually works. Like, how could they get away with that? People would go to Subway, eat subs, and gain weight. I guarantee you that what I had today was not.
It's like the opposite of
Italian
that
herb and cheese bread.
Oh, I love that Italian herbs and cheese bread.
Okay, tuna's okay. The bread's not okay. And then I had cheese, which is not good for you. Tomato, cucumber, capsicum.
But even like you said, their lettuce, sorry, not their lettuce, but their salad, they probably put on a bunch of salt, a bunch of salt, shit, you know.
And all the sauces are full of sodium.
Oh, 100%.
And then they say, do you want salt and pepper? Add it onto it. Don't tell me that's healthy. It's cheap and it fills you up. But
it cannot be healthy.
I'm just saying, I don't see how they can. I see shit like that, I'm like, that's so fake.
Well, have you heard famously Tom Segura? Do you know Tom Segura, the comedian?
Of course, yeah.
Famously, he was, I don't know if you've ever seen the interview where he talks about it, but he was hired by Subway to play Jared's cousin or something, or Jared's cousin or brother or something. And basically, apparently the Subway, this is the way he tells it.
Or maybe this is the tweet you were talking to me about.
So the Subway like executives thought that Jared was like too healthy. So he was kind of advertising towards more healthy people. And they were like, shit, we need to still attract fat people. Yeah. So they were going to get
Tom.
They were going to get Tom Segura in to play Jared's fat cousin.
Yeah, some Subway.
Who they were going to make Tom be like the fat or like the bigger version of Jared so that they could use Tom to market all the fatty Subways. And then Jared they'd use to like market the healthy shit.
Everything's fat in America though.
But apparently Tom filmed all those ads and he was supposed to get paid when they aired. But like a couple of weeks before they aired the campaign, that's when the Jared situation came out. So it's pretty wild.
You know, like even the McDonald's there and stuff in America, it blows my mind. Everything's so big. They have in every McDonald's. They don't do this here anymore. They used to do it in a few places, but they had like the self-serve drinks
in McDonald's.
You can just go as many times as you want to hit up any drinks you want. You can get your cup and you can go.
Yeah, in America that's very common.
You know, we used to have it here.
Yeah.
At the restaurant down there.
Yeah. There's a couple of different ones that have that.
But they took that away.
Have done it. They used to do it. Don't do it anymore. It's such a big part of the culture. You can
still find them.
In America, it's a big part of the culture, but in Australia, it's just not as popular.
What I loved is,
which is, you know,
I would go, man. I can't wait to go to America with you one day.
Could you imagine if they did that at the pub?
Shop at. Oh my god. I'd shop at Walmart. The one we went to was next to our. You know what? That's such a. You know when I think of the time I went to America with my family, I just can't stop smiling. We went on Uber drives. Ubers was so new. We left Universal Studios where we were staying. We took an Uber to Walmart. We walked around Walmart. I bought Lucky Charms and then I went to McDonald's and ordered a fucking huge meal and then I could have as much Dr. Pepper as I wanted. Is that not the most American thing you ever heard?
That is
and I love Dr. Pepper and I was going back and back and like, oh my God. They're so fucking fat and lazy there that they can't even push their own bin things. You wave your hand and it, thank you. And it closes. And it opens up again. Like you don't even have to open up the bin lid.
Wow.
It literally, you stand there and it opens, you put it in, it goes, thank you, and it shuts again.
Jesus.
They're that fucking fat.
That is the most fucking Yankee Doodle shit I've ever heard in my life. Like,
yeah, my dad, on the way home that day, he left his phone in an Uber and she had to come to the fucking hotel.
Oh, really?
My dad's so clumsy. He never charges his phone at night. He's left his phone in the same place. He drops it all the time. It's never broken. He's never lost one. And she was so sweet. She came to the hotel and gave it back.
Well, they'd probably get in big trouble.
Especially since...
Because with Ubers too, if your rating goes down, you're
but Alicia's left so many in Ubers. You left yours in a fucking...
I left mine in a taxi. Yeah, in London.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something about London taxis. You're not getting your phone back.
That was such a... I really want to go on a trip with you to America one day. I think that'll be not going to happen anytime soon, but I think that'll be America and London. I want to go with.
Absolutely. Fucking lads trip. Oh, slap.
Vegas, man. Vegas. I guess that's why they call it Sin City.
Yeah, man, we would tear that shit up. It's probably too hard. And hey, now we're both 21, so we can actually enjoy ourselves.
I know. You know, I was thinking the other day when I was driving home.
If we had gone any time earlier than now.
Do you remember that? Yeah. Do you remember that first day on the Gold Coast?
What, when we drank fucking 24 beers each?
Dude, that was insane. Dude.
That sounds like a made up story.
I swear my life, we bought 2 cartons in one night and we were up so late, well, so early.
Drinking Canadian Club, by the way. Speaking of Americans, this is probably...
We literally, it was like, we went to bed at 8 and we went to get breakfast at McDonald's. And we were still on our fun. I was in a bow tie and suspenders, and you were in a tie.
Oh yeah, no. So
we went on our pennies. We hadn't slept
before we went to sleep. So when did we get there? We got there at like midday, didn't we?
Yeah. So we got kicked out of the club. Well, kicked out. They said you need to leave at like 2 a.m. And we met.
No, but what I'm saying is we arrived at the hotel at about midday, and then did we have a nap or we just sort of chilled out? And then
we literally went to the casino to the fucking
and then basically
karaoke place. We sang. I've not watched the footage since.
And then we partied it up until fucking 8 a.m. in the morning. Where just before we went to bed, we fucking skated to McDonald's. And by the way, I don't know if you remember this. I fully fell off
you stacked
my board and I did not feel it a single thing because I was so drunk and tired.
People are going to work and we're riding. Dude, I was in formal tucked in shirt, suspenders.
I think it was a Sunday going into Monday as well. I don't even think it was like
it might have been, yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah.
Or maybe it was a Saturday going to Sunday. But anyway.
God, who knows? And we rocked up to McDonald's dressed like fucking circus acts.
Oh, we were.
With our pennies. Went home. I was like, I don't think I'm going to fall
completely
asleep.
Zoinked.
I remember waking up and being like, what year is it? What day is it? We both needed some space. I remember you went off someone. I went to go get a boost.
Yeah, I went for a fat walk, I think.
I was walking around. It's such a shame we can't do so. I was like, walking around. I'm at Surfers Paradise right now.
It was a nice place to walk around, I got to say.
I was like, this is insane. Like,
I think I went and got a massage or something. I went.
You did?
Yeah.
That's what you
did. Was it the next morning? Yeah.
That's what you did. You got a massage. I was like, I already told her, like, what the fuck? That's the weirdest thing. First you said to me, I'm going to get a massage. I was like, are you mad? What do you mean?
Well, they had fucking all the places there around there. And I was like,
such a good time. And then we watched Home Alone that night.
Oh, what?
No, we watched Home Alone that night. We had the
24 beers. That's what accelerated the drinking.
That's our like Christmas.
Because we were doing a drinking game.
Which we do every year. Coming up soon.
Yeah, I know. That'll be fucking great. By the way, I need to talk to you. We'll discuss it off air, but I need to figure out my timeline. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I guess Mark Ritter was closest to that. Dude, Mark Ritter, everyone was on such bad behavior. Hey. Oh my God.
We really were.
Mark Ritter
that was the closest. What was the latest night? Probably it was like 3 a.m. maybe that we got to 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
I think so. Mark Ritter just, maybe I'll think more highly on it in a few months.
I think the difference though with Mark River, we started every night when we started drinking, we would start at like 5 p.m. and we would start like hard. Like we wouldn't, whereas I suppose with the Gold Coast we started earlier, but I don't know, for whatever reason with Margaret River, I think because we went so hard for so long, it's like getting to 3 a.m. is probably about as
good thing about good thing about that Gold Coast is that like we had an advantage because Perth was 2 hours. Am I saying this right? 2 hours behind. So or 2 hours ahead. So when we went to when we went to Gold Coast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Say sunset was at 5 o'clock, but to us it feels like 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That is right. That is right.
Ahead,
no, that's how it works.
But then we had like 2 extra hours of energy. We're used to going to bed. Because if it was like 2 a.m. in Gold Coast, to us it felt like it was only 12.
Yeah.
So we had that on
I think in a way, if it makes any sense, I think the jet lag and everything almost made us like, have you heard of the term overtired? Where like you get so tired that you actually get energy again. Like, like it's almost.
I felt physically ill after that trip. I think the last 2 days, I remember just waking up and feeling, I've said this before, I felt just ill. I ate, my head was hurting. I had I always get like a sniffly cold and like a sore throat.
I'm surprised we weren't like feeling horrible on the plane.
Oh, I did.
I think fair enough. But I think on the plane we was a late flight as well.
I do regret the last couple of days because we got so tired that we didn't do anything.
I know. We should have gone to see more places and stuff.
We didn't go to.
Yeah, we didn't do a podcast. We brought all the gear for a podcast. We didn't even film one.
I mean, I'd gone the year prior with Mitchell and it was like non-stop, climbing the Q1 building, going to Movie World. We did so much. It was so fun. But we had longer. Me and Mitch were there for like a week and a half. We went for like 4 days.
But that's also why when we went to Margaret River, I wanted to make sure we did like a wine tour and stuff.
That was fun. We did a lot for our Margaret River trip.
Yeah, and I feel like if we went to Gold Coast again, we should do more. And I think we will, especially with COVID. I think it's going to be a massive when it's finally able to happen.
Maybe in the next year we can go.
Well, when it's finally able to happen, it'll be like, fuck yeah, like let's do it.
I like those New Zealand plans. I always want to go to New Zealand. Ooh. New Zealand's beautiful. Oh, and they're so nice there. I've never met a rude New Zealander.
My auntie sorry, not my auntie, my grandma's sister. So I guess my great auntie lives in New Zealand. And with her husband. Yeah, probably, but she's lovely. They're lovely. And the place is beautiful.
Oh, I bet. Go to fucking where they filmed The Hobbit and shit.
I did have a joke earlier.
All the Rings.
Which I was going to say. Canadian Club is, well, we were speaking about America before. It's probably a lot of Americans going to be joining the Canadian Club soon with the election happening.
I joke. Everyone says that every time there's a new...
yeah, I know. Every time there's an election.
Well, to be fair, it does go up.
What, the Canadian immigration?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's weird. Every time someone gets elected, the Canadian immigration website like goes down. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, they'll be locked out.
They're stuck. There's no going. I remember the whole Trump thing.
Oh, by the way, a bit of an update to that. Not that it needs one, but he's out of hospital. But
it's ridiculous.
It's weird because a lot of people are saying he might not be okay. Like he might have just said he wants to get released because he wants to get released, you know?
Yeah, it looks bad on him to be in hospital, but he needs to stay there.
I've heard a lot of people say no doctor would have let him go. Like he 100% would have said, I want to leave. Which, I mean, I get it. You're the president. You want to make a...
Yeah, he's got an election.
You want to seem strong. I get that. Yeah. But you don't want to die.
He made such a big deal of taking his mask off and stuff. And
oh, yeah. When he got to the White House, he ripped it off.
That video I tagged you in there, he posted, it was insane. It was like...
Oh, what? The helicopter landing on the lawn? It
sounded like a bloody Hans Zimmer score.
Someone said something, it was like an anime intro.
He literally did rip a Hans Zimmer score.
Oh, dude. He's posted so many copyrighted things on Twitter, and then they always, like, within 12 hours get taken down.
Is he a Zimmer fan?
I don't know.
I love Zimmer, but...
Well, I know. Do you remember he posted that one, the Nickelback one, where it was like, look at this photograph. And I can't remember what it was in, like, he had obviously photoshopped, or someone had photoshopped something in the photo. I can't remember what it was, but it's like, it's so Trump. Just, he loves the memes. He really does.
Yeah, he's very hit these days.
He even got COVID. It was like, oh, COVID's the new thing.
Maybe I'm immune. I don't know.
That is such a funny line. Yeah, he said this thing. He was like, it was such a terrible speech. What did he say? He was like, don't let it dominate you.
Don't be scared of it.
Yeah, it's like
you literally got it.
Yeah, you got it. And you should know.
It probably is still trying to fucking kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Could you imagine if he says that and then he dies later? Like,
don't be scared of it as it's killing your family members.
And also it's like
destroying your life.
The thing is, people aren't really scared of that. They're scared of not having a fucking job because the economy's shut down because of the reaction to COVID.
Did you hear the Target is shutting down at our local shopping centre?
Really? Really?
Yeah, it's so sad. All this shit's happened. That's where I got my new button up from.
I thought you were wearing that tonight.
You know what? I wanted to, but I'll probably wear it Friday. But also, it's just cold.
Conor sent me all these Snapchats with his funky ass.
I feel like Bob Kelso wearing it. I think it's pretty out there.
When he's retired and
that's what I mean. I like a retiree, but it's pretty out there. But I think I can. I said to myself, I'm at the age where I can get away with it. I think it's cool. The ladies seem to like it, so that's all that matters.
Ooh, that's good.
But I went to our local Target and I got that because they had 25% off everything in the shop.
Wow. Oh, because they're shutting.
But when I got
what do they call it? The closing down sale.
Yeah, it closes on Saturday.
Oh, shit. Maybe I should go.
Well, when I went, and this was a day ago, 2 days ago.
It was like nothing left. Fuck.
Mum pretty much dragged me to go. I just got back from work. I was like, I don't want to go.
Makes sense. I mean,
but she was like, oh, you might find something. I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe. And I did find that, which I liked. So I got it it was like $30. I got it for like $22.50.
Oh, nice.
It's a bargain. Nice. It's really nice quality, and it's a nice shirt. I'll try and wear it for Friday for the viewers. But again, I would have worn it tonight, but man, it's cold wearing that thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's not that warm
button ups. Yet. We're in that weird.
It's a weird purgatory stage.
Well, so Australia, for any of our American or English viewers, Australia's in the southern hemisphere, which means our seasons are swapped. Mm-hmm. So we have summer when you guys have winter, or when America and England have winter. And so we're going into summer now. We've just had winter, which is also, by the way, one of the best things with the whole coronavirus situation, because a lot of these America and England, they're going into their sort of winter, which is traditionally flu season, whereas we're going into summer, which, you know,
oh my God.
Praise to God.
Can you imagine the flu season with London this year?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. God. But anyway, so we're going to summer, but right now we're in spring. So we're not quite.
Sorry.
We're still between winter and summer.
Did you hear Boris? He was like, I think coronavirus hit the way he talks. I think coronavirus hit me so hard because I'm fat. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Oh, really?
He's just like, because I'm fat. Like they asked him why.
Wow.
He nearly died. He's like, because I'm fucking fat.
You know, I think the fact
Trump.
I think the fact he can admit it actually makes him more likable.
Fucking
like
Boris.
If Trump just came out and said, "Guys, look, I'm a bit of a fucking fat ass," I think people would acknowledge that. They'd be like,
calls him Boris the buffoon.
He looks so funny.
Do you have any? Oh, yeah, you've got Omar. Is that it though?
I've got Omar, and then I've got my granny and old dad in Zimbabwe.
Right.
But
yeah, I've only got one. I've got one left, and I barely speak to him.
Unless it's about Boris the buffoon.
Yeah, unless I'm hearing about that. No, he always sends me a card at like. He's so old fashioned. I love him. He sends me a card at Christmas and my birthday.
Oh, that's cute.
I get the classic Christmas card.
Physical card?
Granddad. Yeah,
that's nice.
He wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, I don't think he knows any other way.
He's got legit. He has a group chat with my mum and my two aunties, and he literally said the other day, maybe I shouldn't laugh, but he said, signing off girls for a while. Don't want the government listening to what I got to say. This is on Messenger.
Oh, wow.
And mum was worried because she's like, what's happening? And like, apparently he just goes on like long ass walks because he's like, he's retired. Like,
he's in the UK?
Yeah.
Oh,
we're trying, we all try to set up to get him a cat because he loves cats. But
that's nice. That is
when
nice.
my mum's mum died, when she was like 14, 15. So she was very young.
Yep.
And so I never met my mum's mum, which is a huge shame. But he never married this woman, but he met someone afterwards who I've never personally met. But when I went back to the UK, he was popping in and out. He's there like half the time he's at his house. So we're trying to get him a cat. But for 2 weeks of the month, the cat would have no one to feed it. So we can't do that. But I've never met her my whole life, but I've heard so many stories.
This is what your grandpa's girlfriend.
Just girlfriend. I never got married.
Is she like a sugar baby, or is she?
No,
is she his age?
She's I think she's a tiny bit younger, but not much younger.
Okay.
But I never met her, and it's always been I won't say much, but it's always been a bit tense between, just to put it that way, between the sisters. And,
grandparents.
I've never met her.
Whenever grandparents, one of them dies and the other tries to move on, it's always really hard because, especially when they're older. I don't know why there's a thing about older widows or widowers, but people have this expectation that you had enough memories and you shouldn't really move on. But like my grandma nearly got married. Do you remember?
I do remember that in year 12. What was his name again?
Oh fuck! What was his name?
He was he was just trying to.
It was like Boris or something. It was like
I won't
goofy ass name, Alfred or some shit. I can't remember what his fucking name was.
And Casey knew him.
Yeah.
Drama was like, my granddad knows him.
Yeah.
Warren, wasn't it?
Warren, that's what it fucking was.
Fucking Warren.
It was fucking Warren, and I don't know. I think he I don't know. Maybe he had good intentions, but he was a bit. I don't want to slag him off.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I didn't want to do that either.
Because I mean I'm pretty sure he's a widow as well, or widower. But you know, I don't want to slag off anyone, especially the old. You know, but let's just say it wasn't quite the right blend for my Omar.
It's difficult. The
trouble is, I don't want to make my Omar out to sound bad either, but
she needed a visa.
She wasn't. She was on a visiting visa. I don't know exactly what the word is, but basically that meant she had to leave every 3 months, and every 3 years she had to get it renewed. But now she's on a bridging visa, waiting to get onto
I was saying to you though in year 12, I'm like, dude, she's an old woman. Just let her fucking stay. Are you serious?
I know. You know, we wrote a proper full-on letter to the government. I had to write like my own like story about her and sign it. I remember
Omar dropping us to go see Macklemore. And I think she was chatting
She loved it,
something that she went to go see. And no, when I went back to the UK, because I hadn't seen my granddad in like nearly like a decade.
Yeah.
No, I hadn't seen him for a decade. I hadn't seen him in like 10 years. And I it was so weird. I barely, like, again, I won't get into it, but he fell out with my mum for many years. I didn't talk, and I had to go back, and he said to my mum, if he's coming back, I would love to see him. And it was so nice to me when we go out for dinner, and he'd be like, you're not paying a cent. And it was so sweet. And he was like, what'd you like to drink? And back in the day, I drank a lot of cider. He's like, I'll take you out to get cider and stuff. He was very, very kind. What's sad is, like, I don't know if I'll get back in time to see him again.
Well, you know, it's, I was just going to say before, not specifically about London, because London is 18 plus.
London.
If we literally have not been able to go, like.
Or drink in London.
No, because in America, because I only turned 21 in March.
In March, yeah.
But obviously since March, America's been a shit show.
Yeah.
So there's literally been no time where it would have actually been fun for us to go to America together.
We would start there.
So maybe as soon as America is okay, because I mean, Australia will be fine long before America is okay. Go, man. But maybe eventually when America's okay, we should go together. And I don't know how long London will take, but when London,
I do. You know. It's so weird. I literally was going to say, like, I want to go back. I always promised myself I'm going to go back to London at the end of my apprenticeship, which would be next year.
That's nice. I can't. Well, you don't know that, but True. Probably not.
Yeah, I know. It was just so weird being back. I remember my granddad's phone rang. He was like, "Oh, can you answer it?" I was like, oh, "Okay." I answered it. It was my mum's great auntie or something like that, and I answered it. I was like, "Oh, hi." And she's like, I can't believe I finally got to talk to you. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, who is this? And she was so old. Remember, she's like, what do you do for a living? And I was like, I just started doing YouTube. And I was like, I was such a shitty kid. I was like, not really, but I was like, I'm going to call myself a filmmaker. And that's it. So I said to her, I'm a filmmaker. And she said, I swear she was like, oh, a train track maker. What do you do for that? And I was like, I had to go with it. I was too polite to be like, she thought she was like a railroad maker. So it was the most bizarre thing. I was like, it's like, what do you do with that? And I'm like, oh, just go to work. And she was so interested in it. And she thought I made railroads. I said filmmaker. I don't know how she got that.
That's
but she
so
said
funny.
Railroad maker for like the tracks.
You know, it's also funny because like
really
these days,
crazy.
and maybe it shouldn't be this way, but these days, like they don't even make that shit in Australia anyway. They they buy it all from China. They.
Oh God, it was yeah.
to picture you in a fucking factory, like you know the way they used to like make swords.
That's how they think it goes, man. Yeah, it'd be good to go back.
That's hilarious.
For now, we've got to travel Australia, which I'd love to do with you.
No, me too.
I don't think we'll get a trip by the end of the year, to be honest. I think it's too late now. So I think we'll just have to wait till early next year to go somewhere, which is fair enough. We can do that. Yeah, but that'll have to be probably next year now. I don't see us going away before the end of the year. I mean, you're gone most Christmas, as per effing usual. Okay. I still won't see you. Even when he is here for Christmas, I barely see him.
Well, if I'm here, then my family will be in fucking Esperance, so I ain't going to be seeing them.
Yeah. Oh, I beg to differ, but that's Dan, by the way. Dude, the mic's picked that shit up now. Looks like it's me. And it is not, I swear on...
Bruh. I disagree.
The blood of Christ. I'm so keen to go to the pub tonight.
Should we do our movies and then done?
Yeah, go on. You are keen for a beer. All right. I had this idea the other day.
Okay, go on.
When we went through Dylan's top 20 movies, whatever. I think it was top 20.
Yeah, that was a good segment.
I was like, oh, why don't we? Because I love guilty pleasure movies because there's so many movies that I like, which I'm like, I know they're bad, but I have so much fun with them. So I said to Dan, make 10 guilty pleasure movies, like list your top 10 in no particular order, and we'll read them one. Go one, you go on.
Yeah, so I like this idea because I think that we're both such big film fans, and I think that sometimes people assume that film fans are like perfectionist and like Mitch says it sometimes where it's like, you know, oh, you always pick apart everything and stuff.
nothing boils my blood more than that when he says that.
But it's like, you know, and I would also say that even shitty films, I do think we both try to always acknowledge, you know, there were people that worked on this. There's like
100%. I always feel so sorry for like people when I read shit that's like ripping into them. Like they tried. A lot of the time they try.
Absolutely. And with all that being said about us really liking good quality films, you know, we're human and we fucking enjoy real pieces of shit sometimes because, you know, brains are dumb like that. Sometimes they're just,
you know what? I don't even look at these films and think they're shit. I think they're movies. A lot of these, these are sequels.
But that's what I'm saying is that you can have so much fun. You can have so much fun with films, even if they're not great, because, and I would say, especially if you love film, you can appreciate a film if it's not great, you know, like, or you should be able to. If you really do love film, you shouldn't be a snob about it.
I got a lot of sequels, and I've also these movies aren't necessarily that hated, but I also checked out their like online reviews.
Okay,
and they were like kind of panned there. So I'll start. All right, my first one is, and this you've got to have this. Don't say if you do though.
Okay.
First one. This is a must.
Yeah.
I've got Hangover Part 2.
That's a fantastic.
No way near as good as the first.
Well, when I say fantastic,
come on.
I mean, I love that movie.
Yeah, you got it.
And it's not great.
No, it's not great. It's literally the same plot, but it's beautifully shot.
The thing is, it's funny. Well, that's the thing. The Hangover Part 2 on its own is actually a fine movie.
It's just that the first one exists.
But it's that the first one is better and the second one is basically just the same as the first one. So it's like, if you didn't watch the first one, the second one is actually a pretty great movie. And it's got a lot of good humor.
Well, it's a sequelitis. And it's got a great cast and it's funny. But yeah, it's not anywhere near as good as the first, but I think that was a great one.
That is a fantastic one.
What you got first?
Okay, so my first one, you might not actually know this one, is a film called Disturbia.
I've heard of it.
So this is, I believe, from 2007. And this starred Shia LaBeouf, of all people.
Oh, yeah, on the binoculars on the thing.
Yes, that's right. So I'm a big Shia LaBeouf fan, as of recently, but with Robert Pattinson as well. You know, it all comes around. Anyway, so this film, Disturbia, I watched this when I was a kid, and I shouldn't have. I was like 8 or 9. And we watched this, and it's got Shia LaBeouf. Who's that? Is that Blake Lively?
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that is. I don't know. I'll see who the actress is. It's probably not. Maybe it's someone else. But who's the evil guy as well? The bad guy is pretty terrifying. This dude's the bad guy. Man, he used to give me fucking nightmares. Anyway, me and a mate watched this movie when we were like 8 or 9. And you know when you watch a horror movie, and it's, again, I mean, look, the Rotten Tomatoes got like 69, so that's not that bad. Sarah Roma. No, it's someone totally different.
That's bad.
But you know when you watch a film, especially when you're young, especially a horror film, and you get totally scared by it, and I used to think this movie was the shit. I was like, oh my God. And they do a little bit of a twist because basically Shia LaBeouf is like under house arrest, and he starts sort of spying on his neighbors. And the neighbor to one side is this hot girl that he starts dating. And the neighbor to the other side is a guy who turns out to be a serial killer.
Right. The classic plot.
But then I think his mum starts like flirting with the neighbor. It's all a bit of a, you know, it's a little cliche, but I just really enjoy it. You know, it's just one of those, I think it was one of those, it means a lot because I watched it in the right time as well.
Yeah.
Like it was like, it was one of the, I don't want to say it was the first, but it was one of the first horror films that I watched. And really, really, well, one of the first horror films that I watched, and then one of the first horror films that really terrified me as a kid. And man, that shit made me fucking question all my neighbors. I was like terrified of my neighbors after watching this. So I would definitely put that on there. And you know, it's not even that bad a film, but I would certainly call it a guilty pleasure.
Second one I've got is another sequel. It's Jaws 2.
Oh, okay.
Which I've always really just enjoyed. It's dumb. It's not fucking funny.
Yeah.
Per se, like script wise, but I find it hilarious. It's not trying to be funny, but I find it hilarious. I think Spielberg directs it again.
Isn't that the one where, well, I guess it happens in all the other movies, but doesn't the shark get just sort of ridiculously smart?
Well, yeah, a bunch of kids go out and they all get like shipwrecked, and it's a bunch of kids, and the way it ends is the shark bites a cable and gets like burnt. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do like it though. Like it continues on from the first one where it's like,
how does it die in the first one?
The fucking
harpoon.
It's got the barrel and it.
Oh, and it blows up. That's right. Yeah.
It's something like what's the line? It's like.
I remember in the second one it like fucking gets electrocuted. I remember that as a kid. That was hilarious.
Dumb. But it's funny. I remember first watching it. It was like on like 7, and I watched it. And it had like because I'd never seen the second one. I'd seen like the third and the fourth, which I consider putting on here. But I feel like the second one is the most redeemable and also the one I enjoyed the most since the first one. They all got a bit dumb from there on out. Again, I'm pretty sure Spielberg came out to direct, but it was just again, it's not trying to be funny, but it is fucking funny.
Yeah,
it really is. And I do like the idea of like the characters are kind of like on edge and they have a bit of like PTSD from like the first film. And that's what's funny. Get out of the water, and there's like firing fucking gun in the ocean. It's just a load of sea of fish, and it's like
it's a bit like sequelitis with the same as The Hangover. It's like what are the odds that the same town would be ravaged by a shark that deadly?
Yeah,
like 2 years in or whatever the timeline is.
Well,
and
I know
it's the same with like The Hangover. What's the odds that they would both on a fucking bachelor night get totally drugged?
Well, I know for a fact they asked them all to come back for the third.
For Jaws 2?
They all said no. So I do think.
Wait, for what? Come back for what?
Like all Spielberg and all the cast come back for the third one, and they all said no.
Really? Wow.
So they kill off pretty much all the characters in the third one, or the fourth one.
Jesus.
Brody, they kill him off with like a fucking heart attack. One thing I'll say, I have heard from people that there's a sequel to Jaws, the book, and apparently it's a really cool story, and they didn't follow it at all.
Oh, interesting.
Apparently, It sounds pretty cool. Apparently, like in the second one, the town's completely like run down because the one stopped coming, and it's run by the mafia. Apparently, it's really cool.
Okay, that's cool.
They didn't do anything like that. So anyway, it's shit, but it's fun. It's fun, you know.
I think the thing about Jaws is it's such a you know Jaws famously started the summer blockbuster sort of idea. Yeah. But I think what was so good about Jaws was that it was sort of like it could have happened to anyone.
Yeah.
You know, like any town could be sort of attacked by a shark. But the idea of a sequel where a town who's already been hit by a shark gets hits again, I mean, that couldn't happen to anyone. The only people that could happen to is towns who already have been hit by a shark. And there's like
Rest
a tiny
in
amount
peace,
of that.
Shark ride at Universal Studios.
Oh, R.I.P.
What's your second one?
My second one is sort of multiple, but it's the more recent Fast and Furious films. Those are
I love her.
1,000% guilty pleasures. I'm not sure if they're on your list, but
no.
There's one, and you pointed this out to me. I think it's in Furious 7, which is what they call it. The shot where The Rock tackles
that's a great
Vin Diesel, and it like turns.
Okay, I mean,
great shot.
They're well directed,
and they're such ridiculous.
Fast 7 is
massive, over the top fucking action films, and it's just fun. It's just turn your brain off joy. I don't know if Fast 9 has come out, but I watched 7 and 8. I didn't watch Hobbs and Shaw.
Come out.
Yeah, I think 9's coming out next year. But I watched 7 and 8, and they're just fucking pure fun. They really, really are.
It's not the cars anymore.
I didn't watch Hobbs and Shaw because I felt like, and this is going to sound so snobby of me, but I felt like at least the main Fast and Furious movies have like a real family element to it. I know
We're family.
I know it's a cliche. I know it's the goofiest thing ever. But Hobbs and Shaw to me felt like, why do I care about these two random fucking guys?
God, you love her.
I have Vin Diesel.
You're so beautiful right now.
But yeah, that's my pick. And you know what's funny? The other day I was on Thursdays, I work at a group home, and sometimes we put the TV on for the people there, and we put on Fast and Furious. I think the second one's called The Fast and the Furious. It was the second one, and it was just hilariously goofy and weird and bad. And I just thought I would love to go back and watch all the Fast and Furious movies just for a laugh, because honestly, they are just so fun and silly and like everything.
My third one is, and I was obsessed with this film as a kid, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
Wow.
You got that too?
That's my third one.
No way! way.
Not Revenge of the Fallen specifically. I think mine was the first Transformers, but when I was a kid,
I think the first one's actually kind of critically acclaimed, not acclaimed, but it was like
the first one is fairly well received. Yeah.
The second one was
not so much
through the Rise strike. But I saw this film as a kid and I thought it was the shit. I was gassed. I loved it. I could non-stop watching it. I remember I bought it on like day one for like $35 in like a limited edition case.
Amazing.
I've still got it now. It's really bad. I rewatched it in the last year. I rewatched it. I rewatched all of them, I think.
Yeah.
I like Shia LaBeouf. Megan Fox is okay. I do feel sorry for her behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for them both, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Michael Bay's a bit of a twat.
Look, they clearly were just young and just trying to make it as actors. And, you got to take a shot. And they made a ton of money.
The movies are like so huge at the box office. They made bank.
Well, you know what's crazy? They're massive at the box office.
It was so fun.
They make so much money at the box office and they're full of product placement.
Yeah.
So they must make absolute killings, those movies.
Shit ton of money. But again, I rewatched it recently. It's really shit and bad, but it's just a fun movie. It was really shit and bad, but I rewatched it. I'm like, I can't take away my enjoyment as a child.
Absolutely. Those movies.
Same with all the Doctor Who episodes I watched really that are bad. It's like I love Love and Monsters. How can I not love it?
I think it's like the childhood wonder of like, wow, a car can turn into a person thing. It's like so cool, it's like it's just awesome. That shit when you're a kid is just like, whoa, that's sick.
So should I say 4 then?
Yeah, go to your 4 because that was basically our 3.
I love this movie. You must have seen this. My 4th one. This is an interesting one. It's a deep dive. It's a film called Daddy Daycare with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I know this movie. Yeah.
And fuck it, it's great.
No, I love it. That movie's hilarious.
I love it. It's cheesy, it's bad, but I love it.
No, it's the
and it's got Jeff Garlin in it as well.
Oh yeah,
Jeff Garlin.
Yeah, it does. He plays one of the dads.
Yeah, one of the dads. Yeah. It's so funny. I loved it as a kid.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I won't say why, but you get it. There's a connection to it.
Yeah.
Why I love the movie so much. I haven't said on the show why, but I never will say, just due to security reasons. But I do love this movie. It's so fun. It's just a funny, dumb movie. I think I rewatch it every year.
Yeah, it really, really is.
It begins, it's playing Walk on the Sunshine. I instantly smile. I'm walking on the sunshine. Wow. I don't even remember. I couldn't stop laughing. I was such a dumb kid. I went to go see the cinema. And I remember in the beginning of the movie, the kid wakes up. First of all, he puts on SpongeBob slippers.
Oh, hell yeah, baby.
Which I was like, that's sick. So I loved SpongeBob and still do. I don't know if you remember the scene where he goes to the toilet and when he starts pissing, you hear the piss go in the toilet and the song cuts.
Yeah.
And when he flushes the toilet, the song comes back on. I'm walking on sunshine. I was like, this is sick. I love it. It's funny. It's fun. It's a good time.
Oh, that is a great movie.
And you know what? I admit it's far from a great movie, but even watching it as an adult, it's funny. It's fun. It's on Stan.
It's a good time.
If you're in Australia, if you've never seen it, give it a watch.
Check it out for sure. Absolute classic. My next one's got to go to the first Cars movie.
Okay.
The reason I put it on here because I know it's not hated, and I know the second Cars movie is hated, and I don't like the second Cars movie. Actually, I've never watched the second Cars movie, to be perfectly honest. But the first Cars movie is sort of the least well reviewed of the Pixar movies. Personally, I just really like it. I think it's sweet. I've never been interested in cars, and that first Cars movie was like the perfect way to enjoy like cars without actually being into cars.
But you love Lightning McQueen.
Love Lightning McQueen. I love the whole like small town aesthetic. You know how the whole time. Yeah, they're out in the I don't want to call it the Wild West, but they're out in the fucking country ass town.
Much just the Wild West.
It's a nice. I
saw it at the cinema too.
I don't know what it is, but I just like that sort of small town Wild West sort of feeling.
Uncle Mercy.
Yeah, it's just cute. I like that. And I think that movie's it's got a lot of heart. Maybe not as much as the other Pixar movies. And it's not the best Pixar movie, but I just like it. I think it's cool. And it's funny because the other day I was thinking, maybe we brought it up on the show. I was really wondering, how do those cars fuck? I just couldn't quite think how they reproduce. And then I thought,
remember you bringing this up on Saturday.
I thought, how do they
reproduce?
Is there like a baby car? It's very confusing. But anyway, what's your number 5?
I've got Back to the Future Part 2.
Oh, okay.
Which it's always been my favorite. I 110% agree. Yeah, literally. Yeah. Biff is the classic Trump.
Yeah.
It was literally based off it.
Yeah.
Biff Tannen. I love the Back to the Future movies. The third's my least favorite. Second's my favorite.
Yeah, that's funny because I just said I like the Wild West, but the third is it does it in a bit of a weird way, doesn't it?
Well, you know they shot the second and third together. That's why at the end of the second movie there's a next time trailer for the fucking third one. I agree. The first one is a masterpiece and it's so much better than the second. But how can I not love the second one? I think because I love the idea of the future. Hill Valley being in the future.
Yes.
I think it was 2015 in the movie or something like that.
What's
Jaws 55.
What's so interesting is because
I love it. How can I not love it?
Back to the Future is such a excuse me. Back to the Future 1 is such a great script. It's such a great concept. It's such a great movie.
Zemeckis, man.
But what's so funny, and I'm sure they thought of this when they released it, but like it literally has the word future in the title, but it's all about the past.
I know, yeah.
And it's funny that because of Back to the Future Part 2, I would actually say most people think of Back to the Future as being a movie about going to the future, like as in the future. So it's quite an interesting.
There's so many scenes in the movie I love.
I would say the sequel, apart from the moment in the first movie.
McFly. Needles. And he gives him money and then he's like, McFly, you're fired. I'm fired. No, it's so good. Like, it's so cheesy. And it all comes through. Like, I love how they think they'll have like,
I love it.
What are they called? What are they called? The fax machines.
Oh,
and it comes through the
yeah.
has all the you're fired sheets and that movie. I love it. McFly.
It's funny because I think probably so the most famous moments
scenes.
from the first movie is the whole 77 miles an hour, and then also the
88 miles per hour.
Is it 88? Yeah, I always mix it up. I always thought it was 88, and then I thought it was 77. It's 88.
88 miles
okay,
per
cool.
hour.
The whole 88 miles an hour.
1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts. And then the other thing where it was like, where he's like phones and he's like, what does he say? He says, I think it's the next big thing. Oh, not Marty. Marty plays a song from the future and someone listens to it and they go,
it's Marvin.
Yeah.
Your cousin Marvin.
I think this is going to be the next
sound you're looking for. Well, listen to this.
So I think apart from those two are
Johnny, go.
Those are some amazing moments, but I think part 2 has probably more like popular culture moments.
It's much higher than I think it needs to be.
Part 2 has the whole hoverboards. It has
the scenes within the scenes, which I think they're going to do in Better Call Saul.
What do you call the shoes? The lace ups. Like I said, the Trump Tower thing. Like Part 2 has a lot of cool cultural moments.
And Marty gets sent to the future, and then Marty runs up to the dock and goes, "No, I'm sent from the past now." And he's like, "Great Scott!" And he just fucking passes out, and then the movie ends.
It's ridiculous.
Amazing.
So my
it's so much more hate than it needs to be.
My number 5, and I really don't stand by this that much. I say this, I haven't watched these movies in years, and I know that they're not good. And to be honest, I only enjoyed it as like a juvenile, inappropriate young man. I probably wouldn't like them.
Paranormal Activity?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say the movie, the Scary Movie? And like Scary Movie 2 and Scary Movie 3. I used to fuck with those so much when I was a kid. I used to think they were like the funniest shit ever. I was like, they made fun of all this. Like, but the thing is, they're just really shitty parody movies. Like they're not even that good. The humor's not great. Like satire is quite a hard thing to really get.
Those movies, but they did so many in those days.
I know. And I think when I watched
Epic Movie, is that one of them?
Well, I guess we can skip to it, but my number 6 was going to be all of the other like movies. So there was Epic Movie, Disaster Movie, and there was one called Just Another Teen Movie. That one I watched a lot. That one had Chris Evans in.
Really?
and he gets nude. He doesn't show his pee-pee, but he gets pretty much nude. And there's a female character in another teen movie who the whole movie she's naked. It's actually quite raunchy.
Is that I was about to say, is that the one with like the wardrobe in it from We're on the Wardrobe?
No, that's Epic Movie.
Because I remember one where
that's Epic Movie, and then she's naked and she walks out.
Dude, as a kid, I could not
believe I was a kid and I was like,
she's like fully naked.
Yeah.
You see her vagina.
No way.
I literally I was like, what?
I know, that sent me.
And me and Archie and Johnny would like take it back and play it again and take it back and pause. And
same here, bro. Me and my boy Theo, we were like watching it and fucking. So yeah, that's my 5 and 6. Is all those like movies, very poor satire that I think unfortunately doesn't stand up to scrutiny. But when I was a kid and when you're that immature, you just fucking slurp that shit up, man. You love it. You think that's the funniest shit on the planet.
All right, my 6 is Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it's the best of the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheesy as fuck. The script is terrible, but what
was your 5? Did you skip 5?
5 was Back to the Future. Part 2.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry. So,
I really love the Anakin and Obi fight at the end.
It's over, Anakin. It's not bad.
I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Yeah. Oh god, it's so good. The General Grievous fight, all the clone scenes. Yoda's going to a Dagobah. The beginning is great. It's just so much stuff. It's just I went. It was the first Star Wars movie I saw in the cinema. I went dressed as Darth Vader. Which is embarrassing. My mom tells me that all the time, just to remind me of my pain. And I think it's really fun.
I will say the third one I always thought was the funnest.
The Younglings, Order 66, like all that shit. Yeah.
The third one I thought was the funnest game in the Lego Star Wars version 100%.
Of the game. Fight with Anakin at the end was so fun.
Oh, that was wild. Epic. Dude, that was
and
epic.
I love the score by John Williams as well.
Fantastic.
And then I've got Home Alone 2 Lost in New York.
Fantastic movie. I wouldn't even call that a guilt. Yeah, I mean, I would agree.
Yeah, but again, I told you these are movies that I don't necessarily think are bad.
No, you're right.
Again, they aren't like reviewed well.
Yes. No, I would agree.
If you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score for like Lost in New York, I think it's like 45.
I think it's a lot of fun.
I think it's so much fun. But again, it's like Hangover Part 2. It's like we watch it every year.
Yeah, but we've both agreed that Home Alone 2 takes it too far.
Yeah, 100%.
It goes too much in the goofy slapstick.
Well, it's the last movie with Columbus, last movie with Macaulay Culkin.
But that's the other thing. I mean, it has a lot of heart. It's very fun. It's really hilarious.
It's really fun. It was my favorite as a kid.
Yeah,
it was my favorite. Yeah. And look, part of me's like, it is again. It's like part 2 of Back to the Future. It's like it is my favorite of them. I think deep down.
Yeah, but I would say the first one holds up better.
Same with Back to the Future. It's like I know that the first one is so much better made. But yeah, Every time I think about Home Alone, I hear the score of John Williams in my head. I smile for like a bit of pixie dust put on my heart. I'm gonna fly out the window, and I just think of you. I just think of you.
No, that first Home Alone score and the second one too, but like John Williams' Home Alone score is just beautiful. It really does make your heart warm, doesn't it? Like,
I absolutely love it. So that's my 7. Home Alone Lost in New York. We're gonna watch it in like a month and a half. I love that movie.
Very excited.
I really do. Buzz.
Oh, I love Buzz's spider.
Oh my god. I wouldn't let you stay in my room if you were growing on my ass.
There's
when I heard ass in a kids movie as a child, I was like, will mum let me watch this?
Yeah, I know.
I said ass.
I always used to love, and it's so cliche now, but Kevin, the
they're classic.
For anyone who ever wants to do any Home Alone drinking games, there's a great rule that most of them have, but basically whenever Buzz's tarantula appears on screen, you have to finish your drink. So that's always quite a fun rule.
I think it's a shot every time the tarantula shows, every time Kevin screams, and every time the pizza delivery guy
knocks over the statue.
Little Nero's hits the statue. And that happened heaps. I remember you passed out. We didn't even finish it the first time we did it.
The very first time. This was a few years ago, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what's yours?
My number 7, we mentioned it a few weeks ago because I mistook it, but it's actually going to be In Time with Justin Timberlake, and I can't remember who his co-star is.
Are you serious?
I remember watching. Look,
what's her name?
What, Mia?
She's blonde. She's really cute.
Oh, I'll check.
She's in Mamma Mia.
Meryl Streep.
That helps.
No, so I will just say about In Time, it's not the best movie ever.
Such a great concept, such terrible execution.
Oh, Amanda Seyfried. Yes. So the movie, it's pretty poorly reviewed, but it's 37% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's such a good idea. It's so bad.
It's a very good idea. It's not great executed, but I will just say that when I first watched it, again, when did this come out? 2011. I was like 12, 13 maybe when I first watched it. I don't think I watched it in cinema, but still I watched it when it was new.
OJT.
And it was just one of those, like, the concept was so cool to me, and Justin Timberlake was such a cool person to me at that time.
JT.
So it just came out at the right time. It was the right movie. And again, you're right. The concept is cool enough that I'll give it a pass, and I'll say I very much.
That's probably that went around Hollywood for like bidding wars, I reckon.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's a great concept.
Such a great concept.
But you're right. They didn't execute it very well, unfortunately. But hey,
I got a film here.
Maybe I'll get a remake.
Every time I watch it, I'm kind of like, I know why it's really not badly, but I know why people don't really like it. But I've got The Judge starring Robert Downey Jr., which is a film that.
Okay, I haven't watched that.
I've been saying for years for you to watch it. I do get why people don't like it, but I think it's such an amazing performance from Robert, for one, who's an amazing actor. But the reason I love it is because, and you'll kind of get this too. It's about a father and son, and I think it's just about the rocky relationship you do have with your dad naturally.
Yeah.
And when I watched it, I'm like, I really do understand this movie. I really relate to it on like a personal level. Just trying to please your dad and being that person and the way you guys interact. One thing I will say, if you do go and watch it, which I highly suggest you do, don't read the synopsis. For some reason on Stan, and it might be everywhere, but on Stan, the synopsis is like huge spoiler. So don't read the synopsis.
What would you say it's about?
So Robert Downey Jr. plays like a lawyer. He comes from like a small town, and his dad is a judge.
Okay.
Something happens, and he goes back to the town, and then something happens again, and he has to do something. He has to represent someone. Something happens, and it's really
interesting.
It's got Dax Shepard in it.
Cool.
It's got D'Onofrio in it.
Hey.
I think it was. I believe it's one of those films that he was contracted to do, like Doolittle.
Oh, really?
I think it was. Yeah, but this was just before Age of Ultron came out, I think, or maybe after.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting.
But
very interesting.
I think it's one of his, if not his best performance. And but it's really not reviewed well. I don't know why. There's scenes in it that I know will really hit your heartstrings. So I know I know our relationships with our dad are just like, we talk about him a lot.
Very complicated.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah. So I highly recommend watching it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I guess I'm up to number 8 now. My number 8 would be Spy Kids. When I was a kid,
I love this movie.
That was one of my, for a period of time. You know, you go through phases when you're a kid.
Yeah.
There was a period of time when I was a kid.
Terrified me.
All I wanted to be was a spy. Like, I fucking loved that movie. There was a TV show on Disney called Totally Spies, with all the girl spies. Even then I was like, I didn't even care they were girls. I was like, I want to be a girl spy. Like, I was like, I want to be a fucking spy. I don't care.
It's a terrifying movie. They played this song backwards.
I know. It's
They got us captives, help us, save us. They got us captive, help us, save us.
Yes, they have to play the message backwards.
They turn the spies into all those like weird ass monsters.
The like walking thumbs. Yeah. Oh my God. Dude, that movie was kind of scary.
Did you as a kid always wish you had that McDonald's machine where they put in that card and they open up the microwave and it's McDonald's comes out?
Yeah.
Dude, that saved me as a kid.
All their gadgets, everything, like all the technology was just so
These
cool.
are my children and I will do it my way. So good. So good.
So that shit, I just loved that.
Did you watch the 3D movie at the cinema?
I did. And that's, I guess, why. Because I actually think the first movie is good, but obviously the franchise didn't really hold up very well.
Doesn't the second one have...
That first movie is just so fucking... It hits so good.
The second one has... what's his face in it?
Isn't it the...
Steve Buscemi.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I think
and all the CGI
right.
skeletons watch like them fight and they're like...
Oh my God, I remember that. I remember watching that and being like...
What's it called? The Lost Island?
Is this the same movie that I enjoyed the first time?
What's the second one called? The Island something?
Oh my God, wow. The first one has a 93% Rotten Tomatoes score, which is incredibly surprising. Yeah, Antonio Banderas is in the first one as well. Who's the kid? Because the kid I remember got so funny. The second one is called The Island of... Dreams, The Island of Lost Dreams.
I did love the second one.
And then they did one in 2011 where they were kind of like grown up and it was like the grown up version.
Was it really?
Yeah, so this one, so the first one I think came out in 1999. And then this one, I believe.
That's not the same cast.
No, it doesn't look like 4D. It. Oh, very unfortunate. I was going to show you guys, but there's no point if it's not the same cast. But anyway, no. So Spy Kids, I would definitely say is my guilty pleasure because I just love that film. I will always look back on it fondly.
Second last, I got Spider-Man 3. We love the Raimi trilogy.
Whoops. I have to give that movie a pass.
I love it. I absolutely, dude, you're dropping shit everywhere.
I know. I don't know what's going on, but
such a great movie.
I will never slag that movie off.
Me either. I know it's like. Oh, it put too much on its plate, which is not Raimi's fault. They asked him to add Venom and shit.
That's right. It's not his fault.
I said, I love it. I do. I love emo Peter Parker. I love Eddie Brock. I love Venom and Sandman. And I love fucking Harry Osborn flying around on the surfboard.
Harry.
Harry.
Hey, Harry.
I love it. I just love it. I've never hated it. I can never hate it.
No, I
absolutely love it.
The whole
free masterpiece.
You know what was so amazing? And I don't know if the movie copied it from the TV show or the TV show copied it from the movie. But when I was a kid, I watched this animated Spider-Man movie or like TV special. And the way that Venom lands in the Spider-Man 3 movie, I could be completely wrong, but in my memory, it was the same as it happened in the animated movie. And for some reason, when I watched it in the movie, I was like, oh, and like, if I felt like a kid watching like a comic book adaptation that I'd read, but like seeing it, and I was like, oh, this is so fucking cool. Yeah. I know who Venom is. The cinema.
I loved it.
You know, like, because I knew who Venom was before, and it was just.
It's so cheesy, like the final act, and it's all happening at once, and like there's a fucking TV reporter going, we can't believe what is happening. Spider-Man is dying in front of our eyes. It's so dumb, but I love it.
And
fucking
Mary Jane is in the fucking sky with the.
Hold on, Mary Jane.
The webs.
Classic damsel in distress. It's cheesy.
It is.
But I love it.
It is fantastic, even despite its cheesiness.
I said I love it.
What's your second last one? My number 9 is not any one specific movie, but my number 9 is just any any Pixar movie. I know I said Cars, but also any Aardman movie. So anyone who knows Aardman is the company behind the Wallace and Gromit films, all those like stop motion animation films.
They're not guilty pleasures.
Well, the reason I say guilty pleasures is not because I don't think they're good, but because I think that unfortunately they're so underrated. Like they just, and I don't even mean critically, but they just, so few people, like they're not as popular as Pixar movies. They're certainly not in the pop culture in the same way that Pixar movies are. And it's a real shame.
Are you thinking about the Wallace and Gromit like TV shows or do you count them?
Both. The TV,
seriously?
the
Wrong
movies.
Trousers, a classic.
No, they are. But like, so a couple of years ago they did, what was it called? First Man. Yeah. And it was an Aardman movie and they were like cavemen.
Yeah.
I watched it and it was, I enjoyed it.
What's the name is in it? I can't think of names today.
I'll get it up. But
bloody hell.
But it's, so it's a very
Maisie Williams.
Yes, that's right.
I had Eddie Redmayne as the main con.
And honestly, like it's Ryan Gosling.
Oh,
and Claire Foy. Maybe you're thinking of a different movie. First Man. Whoops.
That's not. I knew it.
Sorry, what am I looking at?
Eddie Redmayne.
What was it called? It wasn't called First Man. It was
Eddie
called
Redmayne and Maisie Williams are in it.
Early Man is what it was called. Sorry, not First Man. starring. Yeah, you're right. Eddie Redmayne and Maisie Williams. Okay.
You know the factory years ago burnt down.
No, really, their factory.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But I just find it such a shame that their movies go so unnoticed when
so hard to make.
They are such well-made movies. Like the stop motion animation art form is such a forgotten art, and the fact that they continue to do it is just amazing to me. And so it's not so much a guilty pleasure. I just wish they had more recognition. You know what I mean?
My last one is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Okay. I honestly, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
Okay, well, this was, I think...
I know it's got aliens, though.
Oh, God, it's awful. That's George Lucas for you. It's awful. It's terrible, but I love it.
Well, Shia LaBeouf, man.
Shia LaBeouf's in it.
Yeah.
It's so dumb and cheesy and... Oh, it's awful, but I love it. It's
Yeah.
And I had the advantage of... that was the first Indiana Jones movie I ever watched. So I had no connection to the first few movies.
Yeah,
I didn't have any of that. And then after I watched the fourth one, I went back and watched it. And I was like a young kid. I watched the first three. But I had no connection to it. I watched it and I was like, yes, this is really fun. I love the ant scene. Oh, you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Ant scene. Okay. There's a scene where Shia LaBeouf is swinging branches with monkeys. And I love it.
I have seen that scene. I know about that scene.
I just absolutely, there's so much shit in it. It's so funny. Harrison Ford's made of glass. He's old as fuck. But it's great. It's really fun. And it sucks. Number 10, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I love it. My number 10.
Controversial one. Go on.
My number 10, and again, these were not in any order, by the way. So we're not.
They weren't in order.
No. This was just as we thought of them. So this is going to be, and this is funny because this is probably one of the only ones, I guess, apart from the Fast and Furious, that are like still being made. Is the Saw movies.
Oh God!
Okay. You know the Saw franchise?
Yeah, we watched the first one together, didn't we?
Well, this is a funny story. So we watched the first one together. Me and Declan actually watched all 7.
Why?
Together. I don't know why. I can't remember. We watched them. We enjoyed them. We were like, Deck was like, I can't remember who said to who, but we were like, hey, do you want to watch the rest? Deck's an old friend of ours. And basically, we ended up, we've known him for a long time.
All right.
And we basically ended up watching them. And I remember one night we stayed at my house and we watched like 3 in a row.
Jesus.
And we were up till like...
Don't they just get terrible?
We were up till 3 a.m. They get so... we watched all 7, and then I think they made Jigsaw in 2018, I think. And then I think they made one recently called... I think it was called Spiral.
Yeah.
No, it was with Chris Rock.
Oh, yeah. It hasn't come out yet.
No, it hasn't come out. So they've made...
interesting casting.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was a weird thing to cast a
Isn't Chadwick Boseman in Jigsaw?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't watch Jigsaw. That's the thing. I don't know. But I watched all 7 of the original Saw movies, and they are ridiculous. They do get progressively...
What is even the plot of, say, 7? Like, what the hell even happens?
So it all kind of revolves around Jigsaw, who's like the serial killer, Jigsaw.
Mm.
And basically, I think as the movies go on... he's sort of, the guy behind Jigsaw has sort of started like a cult around the idea of Jigsaw. So he gets people to continue his work. And the whole idea behind the puzzles is that it's like a moral test. If you can work together or if you can make a sacrifice, then you can continue to live. And that way you'll be more grateful for life. It's a bit cheesy, but he basically recruits like disciples to continue his legacy after, because the actual Saw guy dies in like the fucking 2nd or 3rd movie, like the actual original Jigsaw. And basically all the rest of the films are like his disciples carrying on his legacy. And then in the 7th film, the end of the 7th film is it reveals that the guy who survived the first film actually was the main one helping to set up all the rest of the traps. So it all links in. It's pretty crazy.
Isn't that the director of Conjuring who does the first one?
Yeah. Lee Winnell, I think is his name. No. Well, James Wan.
James Wan, yeah.
With Lee Winnell. I think they co-wrote it and maybe co-directed it.
The first one is like good.
The first one is good, and the actor in the first one is the director, he's the writer, Lee Winnell. I think his name's Lee Winnell. He's still working today. Oh God, don't even get me going there. But I'm pretty sure he recently directed the what was that one with Elizabeth Moss? First Invisible Man. I think so. I don't want to. Well, he did. Yeah, he did Invisible Man.
He did Upgrade. Holy shit.
Yeah, and Insidious. Yeah, I'm not sure if he wrote Insidious, but yeah. So he's actually quite a, like, I really do think James Wan and him, you know, they have created very interesting horror franchises, and they're a big part of the horror genre. But yeah, I mean, I can't deny that the Saw movies get a bit shit, but they're a guilty pleasure, and they are complete horror, gore, like blood porn. It's so over the top and ridiculous. But hey, it was fun. And I think part of the best part is that I just remember that was probably one of the best times I've had with Deck, surprisingly, of all things. Like, just a nice experience.
I wonder why I didn't do that, because I watched the first one with you guys. I don't know why I didn't do that.
I'm not sure. I think you just weren't interested. I think you just were like, I think we were like, do you want to watch the rest? And you were like, nah.
I remember getting the phone call for my first.
Yeah, Lee Winnell wrote Insidious and James Wan directed it. So
my big W job. I remember I got my phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got the job. He got the job.
Yeah, when I was watching Saw, I got the big W job.
I love it.
Is it raining?
I think it is raining. Yeah, right. That's what it sounds like.
I'll probably leave my bag here, and then we can just go straight to the pub. The pub. We're going to the pub.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go have some beers.
Yeah.
Beers.
Yeah.
Beers.
Yeah.
Let's go for beers.
Yeah.
I love the pub. Let's go. I get giddy when I go to the pub.
Let's do it. Thanks, everybody.
Yo.
See you around.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Yeah.